to my live. And I'm getting a message on my screen right now. I'm hoping, it looks like everything is on, so I hope that you can hear me. If you're on and you cannot hear me, please let me know in the chat. But anyway, welcome to my live today. I haven't been on YouTube live in quite a while. I think since last October or something. I'm not sure, but it's been a long time, and I'm glad to be here this morning. But I am going to be working on the Secert Box projects. I'll talk more about that. But if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Diane Gutierrez, and I am a Creative Memories Advisor located in California. So it's a nice day here in California. Yes, we see you. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, thank you. I just had this weird pop-up come up, and I didn't have a chance to read it. It went away fast, so thank you. My mic looks like it's on, so I appreciate you letting me know. So the project, the Secert Box, came out about a month ago, and it went live yesterday. So the big reveal was yesterday afternoon. It's gorgeous papers. There's 6 double page layouts in this project guide. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to jump on here and do a live episode and put them all together. So whether you are working on this with me or working on your own, I hope that you are going to be able to get something done today while we are live. So let me flip over to my overhead and show you a little bit more about the project we're going to work on. Okay, so here we go. So like I said, it's the first Secert Box of 2025 from Creative Memories, and each box comes with a project guidebook. So in this guidebook, we're going to use up, I think we use up all of the paper and most of the embellishments that come with the box. So that's pretty exciting. And you can see here, these are some of the embellishments. I think these are some that we're not going to use. I have them here in case I missed it then and I didn't pull it out. So I wanted those to be handy. And then also in this box, we got this new border making cartridge. It's called Dancing Stars. There we go. And you can see it has a different color case to hold it in. So that's kind of cute. And I'm going to go ahead and show you. You should always test your punches and your border making cartridges the first time on some scrap paper or some cardstock that you are not super fond of, because it might leave some oily marks. If I can hold that up and you can see, it didn't leave a whole lot of oil on this one, so I only did it once, but that's what our punch out looks like. Super, super cute. I love it. To me, that was worth the value of the box. But the papers are nice too. The embellishments are gorgeous. So we are going to look into that a little bit more. Okay, so like I said, there's 6 double page layouts. My first tip is that you should prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for getting this all done. I want to use all my papers and get all these projects done. I'm okay with that, but if you want to add, I'm not going to add photos today. I'm just going to make some base pages and put them aside for another time. But if you wanted to pull pictures and stuff, that might take you a little bit longer. So I prepare myself. First of all, I printed the guide, and you know, it's a pretty good size guide, and I did it on single-sided. That's just easier for me to work with, and especially with my printer and my paper, but that would be up to you. You can also just keep this up on your screen because it does come digitally with the Secert Box. Okay. So that's the first thing. Second thing I do is I go through the guidebook and I put all my papers in order of how they're going to use it. So you'll see here, the first paper is Stars and Burst, and the second paper is Stars and Burst. So I went through, took that extra step to put all my papers in order, because that's going to help me move through my project much quicker. Okay, so I have that. Then what I have off to the side is I have a tray, and I have a tray that has, or a cart that has 6 different trays on it. And so it worked out perfect for today's project, because I have 6 double page layouts that I want to do. So I've labeled each tray by the layout that they're on, what they're going to be. They're going to be in order, but I did go ahead and mark all of those. And I recommend, if you don't have this kind of cart system or tray system, that you have some kind of piles that you can put off to the side of your workspace, because as we cut, I'm going to tell you which layout it's going to go to. Okay, so I went through the guide yesterday. This just came out yesterday afternoon, and I marked which layout it's going to go to. So I don't know if you can probably not see that, but it says here layout number 1, layout number 4, and I went through each one and did that. How I did that was I just went to the layout and found where it was, 1A, 1B, excuse me, went back over here, marked layout 1, 3G, went to the third piece of paper and marked that, and so on. Okay, so hopefully I did that accurately, but it'll be okay at the end if we don't, because we will be able to pull it out from wherever I end up putting it. But I think for the most part, I probably did a pretty good job of marking where they're gonna go. So that's how I prep myself. I also do the same thing with the embellishments. So here you're gonna see I had to use 2 trays today for this project, but I have them in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I just looked at the guide and the projects, the actual layouts, and pulled out the embellishments that go with that layout. And then I have these just sitting off to the side. And like I said, I have these were all extras that I didn't see, or maybe I just missed it on the layout. So I have those here in case. So that's quite a few extra. Don't think we're going to have that much paper left, but we'll see. Maybe some scraps. And then, now I didn't pull off all the stickers. I thought about cutting them all out. These are the stickers that came with, let me get a piece of paper here. You can see them a little better. These are the stickers. They're little puffy stickers. And I thought about cutting them out and sticking them in the tray, but then I didn't want to have a bunch of loose ones when I'm done. I kind of want the sheet and see what I have left and then work from there. So I left these whole. I'm just going to keep those aside and pull them as I need them. And then that's it. I tested my border punch. You already saw that. And I'm ready to go. You guys ready to jump in? It's going to be a marathon today, but it'll be fun. So I'm going to put my project guidebook off to the side. I know I've been showing a few pages, but it is paid content, so I'm going to try and keep it off to the side there. And we're going to just jump right in here. Don't think we need our border maker cartridge yet. Okay, get our trimmer out. I'm actually going to put the paper. I'm running out of space here is the problem. Let's move some things around. Put the paper off to the side here. Okay. First paper will be the Stars and Bursts. Easy cut for us. We're going to cut it at 7 inches. I don't believe we need to worry about direction, but if you are going to use other paper that has a direction, you always want to make sure that you're checking the direction first. And we're just going to cut it at 7 inches. And both of these pieces go to layout number 1. So over here on my tray. And then we're going to go right onto paper number 2, which again is the second piece of the Stars and Bursts. And this time we're going to cut it right in half at 6 inches. And this will go to layout number 4. We have 12 pieces of paper to cut today. And for the most part, they're pretty simple cuts. We will be bringing in our jumbo circle template. So if you have that handy, then we want to grab that when we get down a little bit here. So we're going to move on to paper number 3, which is called Deep Space. It's this one right here. Oh, I wanted to mention too, if you haven't seen the unboxing reveal of, and you want to see everything that's included in this, then jump over to the Creative Memories Virtual Crop Facebook page. I linked it in the description of this video, and you can see Noreen unbox the whole thing. I didn't want to take our time to do that since she did such a wonderful job doing that for us already. Okay, so we're going to punch out our first set of borders using our new Dancing Stars border making cartridge. And on this piece, we are going to cut out 2 of them. we don't have to worry about the back side. This is a directional piece on the back side, but I do not believe we pulled this one in at all in our layouts today. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 of these. And here's what the fallout looks like. Super fun. We have some little starbursts and these little squiggly lines. So we're not going to be pulling these in today, but definitely we can save those if we wanted to and bring those in little finishing touches. Okay, and then it tells us right on the guide, we're going to trim this off. Oops. We're going to trim this off at 1 1/8 inches. 1 1/8. It's that first long line after the 1 inch. And we need 1 more of these. And I'm looking at my notes here, and I didn't say what layout this is going to go on, so we will look that up. Super cute border cartridge. I just already in love with this one. So if you didn't get this secret box, then and you're looking at it now thinking, I wish I had gotten that secret box, Creative Memories is bringing it back. I think it's April, or at least when the second secret box comes out, this one should be back in. Okay, let me peek ahead here and see. I did not write down this one. See, I skipped it. As hard as you try to be set up and ready to go. I believe it's toward the end. Yes, it is. Paper 3. Yep, it's going to go on layout number 6. Way down there on number 6. Okay. Now the rest of these, I believe the rest of this paper is going to be used for photo mats. Whenever I'm using a guide or a project recipe, so if you're familiar with Creative Memories project recipes, then you'll breeze right through this guide. But whenever I'm doing a project recipe, I always like to kind of highlight that they're going to be used for photo mats in case you wanted to pull in some other paper. Okay, so we need to do a strip at 4 inches. And then turn that strip and cut it into 3 4-inch blocks. So each of them get cut at 4 inches. That gives us 3. And then we're going to cut another 4-inch piece and turn that and do another 4-inch square, and then a 6-inch square, rectangle. Again, these will all be for photo mats. And all of these will go onto layout number 3. Okay? And we have our first scraps, which is good. Isn't that the prettiest blue? And the back is that sunburst. Okay, need a pile for my scraps. Okay, moving on to paper number 4. Again, it's going to be this deep space with the sun on the back. And again, we're not going to use the sun paper for our layouts. We're going to do a nice easy cut it right in half at 6 inches. Yes, Christine, and I sent that out, so you should be getting it really soon. And she's mentioning that she got the secret box last week off my website, and I think I do have one left if anybody is interested. It's over there on my website if you can't wait till Creative Memories brings it back out. So we cut this into in half, and these both go on layout number 4. Okay, and we're moving on to the moon phases paper. This one, just making sure, I don't think we have to worry about the direction. I guess we're okay either way. I'm going to put mine like this, and we are going to cut a strip at 2 inches. And this strip of 2 inches goes to layout number 2. And then we're going to cut some. These look like they're going to be for photo mats as well. And we're going to cut at 4 inches. And we're going to do it again, but we're going to turn it first and cut it at 6 inches because they will go to layout number 6. And now the next one, we are actually going to turn this over and do the same thing because it's telling us that we want to use the reverse side. So I like to know that when I'm cutting it and when I'm putting it on my tray. So I'm going to do a 4-inch cut. Again, these will be used for photo mats, is my guess. And we're going to keep them this side up and put them with layout number 5. Okay, and then on this last piece, we are going to cut a 1-inch strip. And turn it and cut it in half. It's going to be the yellow side up, and this also goes on layout number 5. And another scrap. Okay, moving on to paper number 6, and it's going to be this one right here. Love this one. It's the constellations. Get this out of the way. There we go. Easy cuts on this one. We're going to cut it into 4 sections, each one at 3 inches. So we're just going to cut 3 times at 3 inches. There's 1, 2, and 3, and all 4 of these will go onto layout number 6. Okay, we are halfway done already cutting our paper. So let me take a sip. And we're going to move on. Oh yes, so this secret box came with some foil paper. Beautiful. If you love foil, then it came with, I think, 6 sheets. This is one of them right here. It's called Molten Gold. It's beautiful. But if gold is not your thing, not to worry, because the back side doesn't have any of the gold treatment at all. So you can use the back side if you prefer. So what we need here is we need 2, let's see, does it matter? I thought at one point I saw that it mattered. So let's do this. I'm putting this portion down here. I'm just looking at the guide and it looks like this is at the bottom. We want to cut 2 1-inch strips off the side here. So I'm turning it, and I don't know if it matters, but I thought I read somewhere, and maybe it's when we get to the actual layout, that they wanted it a certain way, but I truly don't think that would make a big deal. Okay, so we want 2 1-inch strips. There's 1, and there's 2, and these are going to go to layout number 2. Beautiful. Now we should be left with a 10-inch piece, and we are, so that's good. Now I'm going to, let's see, yep, turn it and cut it at 5 inches. So I'll yield a 5 by 10 and a 7 by 10. And then both of these will go on layout number 2. Okay, we are going to move on to, for a moment, to put this aside, and we're going to move on to the jumbo custom cutting template. So let me grab that. This is paper number 8, and again, it's that beautiful gold, molten gold is what they called it, and it's just a beautiful piece of paper. So let me take this out of the way. That's probably distracting. We'll come back to that. So you can watch this part. And so what we want to do is we want to, and the detailed instructions are very good. So they're telling us to center it in the center of the paper as best as you could. So you see how I'm off over here. I want to slide it that way, and then I like to eyeball it, but there are some markings on here. I'm looking at this guide right here and lining that up with my 6 inches. And you can probably even turn it. Nope, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I think it looks pretty good. And my blades are here somewhere. There they are. I knew it. I knew I pulled them out. You're thinking, yeah, she's not prepared. Okay, so we need the red and blue blade for this, and we are going to cut on the outside and on the inside of the tracks. And it's very specific. It says follow in this order. So we're going to do the outside with the blue blade, which is going to take it pretty much to the edge. I'm guiding it. I'm looking. When I'm using the blue blade, I always like to double check. Whoops. Make sure I am not going to run off the edge of the paper. The blue cuts the furthest from your outside track, so I'm just eyeballing it here to make sure I'm going to be good all the way around. And it looks like, oops, I'm going to bring it down just a tad, and there we go. Okay, and I'm going to hold my template as firm as I can as I go around. So we're going to do blue on the outside track, and then we're going to come back with red. Okay, that was blue. We'll do the same thing with red. Not moving my template at all. Trying not to. And that's red. Now we're going to do the same thing on the inside track. I'm still not moving my template, holding it firm. Blue. Taking my time. Whoops, see? Try not to talk at the same time. And then I'm going to come back in with red. Red's going to cut the closest to that template. Ah, wasn't in the track. Make sure you're in the track. I can't seem to get my feet in the track. Let's do that again. Ah. I know you'll take your time. I might have moved it a tad right there. I think I did. Dang it. And let's see what we ended up with here. We should have 2 rings and 2 circles. So we're going to save this piece actually, because we are going to put this on layout number 3. So we're not wasting any of this paper. And let's see here, that center ring, I could see I jumped it. Here's the first outer ring, is a little stuck right down here. Get my fine tip scissors and fix that up. I didn't jump the track on that one, but it's just not cut all the way. So there's one. And then the inside ring right here. I did move a tiny bit. I think it's going to be okay. So that's what we ended up with. Let's move it like this. You can see the whole thing. It's beautiful. 2 rings, a circle, and then a circle with a gutted out center, and there we go. So let's see, where are these going? The rings are both going to go to layout number 3. I feel like I'm not too sure about that, but I'm going to double check here. And then the center ones, we are going to, the directions go on, carefully separate all pieces, cut the circle and the large ring and the outside corner pieces in half. Okay, we could do that. Let's bring that back out. I know the rings go together, but it looks like I only marked one, but I know they go together on the same layout. Okay, let's put the circle away. We're done with that. And our mat for now. And let's cut this in half. So it said, cut the circle, the large ring, and the outside corner pieces in half. Easy. That'll be 6 inches. Okay, and again, that's going to go to layout 3. And then the inside circle, we want to cut it right in half. And you know, with our trimmer with a circle, you can put it up here, kind of bump it right up into that little groove right here, and it should be an exact half of a circle, or right down at the bottom. Should be half. Let's hope. And if we move it, you'll see it doesn't fit into the groove. There we go. Got it in the groove. Cut it in half. There we go. And this goes to layout number 4. And I guess I did not mark where the ring goes, but I thought they were all together. Let's go to project number 4. Yes. Same thing. We're going to cut this in half. Slide it right up to our groove. Should be our halfway mark as long as it's fitting nice in there. Hold that. And there we go. That goes to layout number 4. Okay. That was the hardest piece to cut, so we made it through. And we can put our blades away and our template. We don't need those anymore. And let's do an easier piece. Here's another one of the beautiful gold foiled paper. Can you see that shiny? Those little stars are twinkling. And very, very beautiful. Okay, so these I believe are gonna all be for photo mats. And because of the cut, that's what I'm going off of. Because it's a 4 by 6 inch cut. And we need to do 2 cuts at 4 inches to give us 3 strips. And then we're going to cut them, turn them. I'm going to actually stack mine up, cut them all at once. If you're not comfortable, do it one by one. And I'm going to do a 6-inch cut on all 3 of them. So no matter how you cut it, we want to end up with 6 4 by 6 inch mats. Okay, beautiful. Took that beautiful paper and cut it down, and it looks even more beautiful in a small format. And all of these are going to go to layout number 3. Okay, and we are going to move on to the second piece of this starry paper. It's actually called Starry Sky Gold. Perfect, right? Because it does look like that. We're going to bring back in our border making cartridge, and we are going to punch 2 strips, going to trim them like we did before at 1 1/8, and then the rest of the piece looks like it's going to be photo mats as well. So let's get that done and see. There's not a direction to this paper, and not the back side either. We are going to reverse this, but we don't need to worry about the direction. So 2 rows. Let's look at the fallout from this, because that's going to be pretty with the little bits of gold on them. Yep, those are beautiful. This one made it perfectly in the center of that little shiny gold. Yeah, these ones I might save. Put those aside for a bit and see if we want to bring those back in. Now, normally you will see me, if I have to cut 2 rows, I'll just turn it to the other side and punch it out and then cut all at once. But I've learned when I'm doing a project recipe that sometimes when they show it all on one side, and I'm not saying it is with this one, but you see how it's all on one side there? I have learned not to flip the paper because sometimes those measurements might matter. So there we go. There's the first one. That's pretty. Yep. Put that one aside and we'll do one more. I mean, I don't think on this one it looks like we have a little bit extra, so we probably would be okay. But I do it twice just to make sure. It's cutting right through this foil paper perfectly. No, it's not hard, it's not tough. And 1 1/8. Okay. And these are going to go on to layout number 3. And we're going to cut photo mats. So we're going to do 2 cuts at 4 inches. Pull out our arm, turn it, cut it at 6 inches. So we have 2 photo mats going up. These are going to go on layout number 1. I'm going to spread that paper out. I just noticed on layout number 1 we had that other star paper. That's going to look beautiful. And we're going to turn it over this time. And we're going to do the same thing, cut at 4 inches. Turn it and cut at 6 inches. And then these are going to go onto layout number 4. Okay, and then this one is some scrap. So what they're recommending with the scraps are we are going to have to do some welding later on. So we could use these for welding if we want. I don't think I'm going to give up that beautiful piece of foiling for welding, so I will probably be bringing in some other scraps that I have. But that's going to go in my scrap pile. Okay, we are down to 2 pieces to cut. Can you believe that? I think we're done with our border making cartridge, so we can put that away. This was the one actually that they have the note on to make sure that we have it the same way. Okay, so first thing we're going to do with this one is we're going to use the back side, but I'm going to cut this way because I just want to follow the sample because they did highlight to use that bottom portion, and we're not done with our punch, so don't put that away quite yet. That's right, we're going to punch the bottom of this. Okay, so we need 2 at 3 inches. Let's put that up a little bit more. 2 strips at 3 inches. There's 1. And there's 2. And this will go on layout number 5. Oops. Okay. And we have, oops, here it is. This should be a 6-inch piece. We want to turn it and cut it at 6 inches so that we have 2 squares of 6 inches. And then we are going to bring back in our cartridge, and it says, so it's just giving us a warning that you're going to want to put your punch out on the same, so to double check the ombre look here, so how it's darker here and lighter here, just make sure you're doing your punch at the same edge. Okay, so I am going to turn it so it would be at the lighter edge. I'm going to put it into my tray like that, and I'm just going to do the first 3, obviously. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3. So this is an inset punch, right? So the design is going to stay inside the paper. We're not going to trim this one off. We're going to leave it like that. And excuse me, I know we come back later and we're going to back that out so that we can see that beautiful design. Okay, let's do one more. I wanted to show you on those 2 we cut, the 3-inch pieces. It's actually the back side we're going to use. And there was a direction on that, so hopefully we did the right direction because we don't have extra paper. Okay, 3 more. There we go. And this goes on to layout number 6. Okay. One more piece of paper to cut. Let me clean up my little fallout. Put this aside. And easy cut. We are going to do the same thing we did, I think, on the very, very first piece. Cut it at 7 inches. So that's going to yield us a 7-inch and a 5-inch. And it doesn't matter which way you do that. Okay, this is going to go on layout number 1, top one. Okay. There is they want us to use the insert. I think we're going to use it for welding. Let's go ahead and do that because I wanted to talk about the insert. So there were 2 packs of paper in. This is not the right insert. That's the one I was going to use for scrap. There's 2 inserts because we have one from the designer paper and then one from that foil wrap paper. So the foil paper, and this one, there's a note that this is not photo safe. So we do not want to use this in our photo albums. A lot of times we use this for scrap paper or for punching and stuff, but make sure you know that this one is not photo safe. You can tell it's a little bit glossy and it has a different texture, so make sure that that one goes into your recycle bin and not into your album. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, even though I'm not sure if I'm going to weld like this or not. But for now, it's just a 6-inch cut. I don't need this insert anyway. So let's put that away, put that aside, and see if we're going to pull that back in for the layout. Okay, we're done cutting. That wasn't too bad. When you have your papers in order, it's pretty easy. Excuse me. Now let's see if I got all that on the right trays. Bring in my boards. Don't need that little one. Okay, we ready to start these layouts? Let's get you in frame here. I'm going to go ahead and move this one out of our way. I don't think we need that right now. We only need that if I skipped an embellishment. Okay, let's get you as straight as we can here. Okay. Let's see here. Layout number 1. This is where we're going to bring in the 2 we just cut and the first piece we just cut. And this is where we're going to do some welding. So we have our 7-inch piece over here on the left-hand side and the 5-inch piece on the far left side. And those are the 2 we're going to weld together. And then I'm turning just to make sure I have I want the darker part at the bottom of my layout. And this is a very common design, actually, because it's using the whole piece of paper. Beautiful, so that spans across both sides. So let's go ahead and weld this together. Like I said, I'm not going to use the scraps from my box. I'm going to use some other scraps, but the welding is going to be the same. I'm going to turn that over. And the way I like to do it is I keep a little stash of little scraps of strips. When I get down to the last strip of something, I just put them aside for this purpose, and they're always sit right behind me so that I know I could just grab one and weld and go on. So I flipped it over. You saw me flip it over, so the back is exposed, but when I flip it back over, it'll be in the right order. Okay, I'm just lining it up on my gray mat here to make sure it's in the corners. This blue side is really pretty too. And then I'm going to use repositionable for this because in case I do have to move it, I'm going to go diagonally across both strips, both pieces of paper, and then grab one of my strips. Here's a big chunky one to demonstrate. And I'm just going to center that over the seam and covering up my adhesive. Okay, I didn't need to use that big giant one, but I had it. And you'll see here a little bit came through, but don't worry about that on this layout because we're going to cover that up. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Flip them over, line them up. And bring in a strip of paper. This one's not a full 12 inches, which is normally okay. I'm okay with that if it's not a full 12 inches. I don't want it to come out the other side either, so I always bring it up a tad here, and if I have to trim it, that's okay. And I am going to trim this one like that. There we go. And if you're using directional paper, just make sure, double check that you went the right direction on both of those. Okay, so far, easy peasy. And this collection, I didn't show these yet, but it came with some beautiful border, laser cut borders. This is one of them. Can we see that? There we go. And it's going to go right over that seam. Love that. I love covering up the seam, and they gave us just the perfect one. The other one we'll see later on is this one, the moon phases. Very cute. Okay. Bring in our mat, give this some adhesive, and I am looking ahead here. I'll tell you what I'm laughing at in a second. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this on. I'm just lining it up the center right over that seam. There we go. It's beautiful. If you wanted to, you can lift that up with some foam dots from, little foam, the circle ones that we just had in the adhesive buffet. That would be perfect. It would take quite a few, but it would look gorgeous popped up. Okay, there we go. That's it. And let's bring in our photo mats. And that's what I was chuckling at, because these two go here, which are super gorgeous, right? Look how pretty that looks with the other paper. And it looks super nice. But the problem was I did not put the other one in the right tray. So now we have to find it. I'm just going to pull it here, and hopefully I'm going to pull it from the right tray. And it is from paper 3. Let's see what paper 3 was. Because I said all those went on number 6, but they didn't. So it was supposed to go on number 1, which I do have on my notes. I just didn't write it correct. I just didn't do that when it came time. So here's what we have. We have 2 photo mats off to the right-hand side over here, the really pretty foily ones, and then we have this beautiful one over here. And it's down, and then these, they actually have a little bit of a space between them because they're going to embellish. I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I'm going to tuck that back down for a moment and come back to it and adhere this one first. So I'm going to just do repositionable, just because I have it handy here. And let's go ahead and, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to put it in the center. I like my photos to be a little bit more tighter together. So I would want it like that. Let's hold that one and make it loose for a moment. And pull in some photo cards here and see what this is going to look like. So they have some interesting photo sizes on this layout, and I'm going to just do a little bit of a cheater move They have using 3 photos going down like this horizontally. Beautiful. These cards are 5.5 by 3.5. I love that size. And they recommend you can go a little bit longer and keep the 6-inch here and only trim it down by the 1/2 inch on the horizontal edge so that they all fit nicely. But I like the 5.5 by 3.5 because I could see a lot more of my paper around. So I would use those. And then on the other side, they kind of did the same thing. They used a 4 by 3.5. Again, I'm going to go like this, a 3.5 by 5.5 for the same reason I just explained. And I would put 2 there, and I'm out of cards. Let me grab one. I'm working on another project, and so my cards are really out of order. And this came with a lot of cards to play with. So I'm actually going to use the 3.5 by 5.5 photos for all of these. And you'll see it fits, it's going to fit really nicely. And you'll see more of that paper right there in the center. These, they did call for this size photo, 5.5 by 3.5. There we go. Gorgeous. It's going to look really nice with photos on it. And so that's the photo placement. So on the 3 placed photo mats, of course, and then down the center strip. That's why this is such a popular design. Write this one down. You can use this one over and over. This is one piece of paper. Well, this was one piece also, and then they just separated them. But you can see we're going to get, how many is it? 8 photos on this one layout. So beautiful. Okay, let's bring in our embellishing. And let's see, we're going to start with this big, beautiful sun. You can see we have a lot of room here for embellishing and a lot of room right here for embellishing. And so they really are taking advantage of that open space, which I would too. But one thing we're not seeing is a spot for journaling. So you might want to consider that somewhere. Maybe you could even reduce this one. Let's see if I have a 3.5 inch. I would maybe do something like that, and then that would open this section up for a journaling. Let's see if we could. There we go. Something like that would work too. Okay, so this comes up here, then this hot air balloon. You'll see it's like a little vintage air balloon. And I would probably pop this up. They have it layered on top of the sun. I would probably pop this up onto some foam. This would be a great use for our foam tape, but hopefully you stocked up before they took that out. But there we go. And so I would pop it up onto some foam so it could kind of give a little shadowy look there. That's nice. And then we're going to dip into our puffy stickers. And we're going to look for the one right here that says sunshine, if you wanted to use the same that they have. I think I'll put my letters on first, and then I will adhere my embellishments. I'm not going to put those photo cards on, but I will adhere my embellishments. Okay, let's start with the E. Let me put all these. I started taking them off. Silicone mat comes in handy for that too. Got a little anxious there. Okay. I'm going to do it backwards so I could kind of see. Now, of course, you could put a line here and make it nice and straight if you want to. I'm going to eyeball it. Fuss with it. Could use my T-square too, would be a good idea. Let's do that. Not hooky. There it goes. The idea with the T-square is I just put it right there at the bottom. Line it up. They should be pretty even, we hope. I'll lay them down a little softly. That way if I need to pull them back up later, I could do it quickly. I won't wait too long to do that. So it says sunshine. And we have the U in sun. Looks like it's right above the I to help us center that. I don't know if I could. The ruler doesn't help so much that way. Going backwards like that or starting in the center helps me to make sure everything is spaced out somewhat nicely. There we go. Sunshine. Let's get that embellishment adhered down. There we go. And then I'm just going to take off one piece of this foam. There we go. I have it a little bit overlapping here, but not quite here. You can bring it down a little bit more. And then, well, we'll come back and do the finishing touches. Let's come to the other side and see what we have over here. Now on this side, they have just the one photo. Now see, I didn't space mine as much as they did. Maybe I can slide it down. They have the one up here and then the rest, they have this one and a balloon from here. So I think what I'll do is move that right up here. Let's see if we like it. Let's see, we'll overlap like this and then use the puffy hot air balloon like that. Yep, I'm gonna do that instead of having that gap. So let's go ahead and get this mat adhered down. Just like it a little bit closer together. Just my style. If that's not your thing, then you can separate them like they showed. Oh, it looks like I need one more little cloud if we want to. I think since I'm moving this one up, they had another cloud coming out the side like that, but I'm moving this one up, so I'm not going to worry about that extra cloud. Save it for another layout. That'll go right there. And then this little hot air balloon that was from down there will go right over here as well. Let's see. They have it spaced like that, but I think I'm going to bring it a little closer, kind of make it look like they're, you know, floating together. And there we go. Our photo is going to come right here, so it doesn't interrupt our embellishments at all. Okay, that is a very pretty layout. And let's come back in with some finishing touches. And it looks like what they used, if you look on our sticker sheet, we have a lot of little dots. Fun stuff. So we just are going to sprinkle some of these around. And there it is. There's a tiny one. So we have this one. And a tiny, tiny one. Let me get my tweezers. And it's going to come right up here. There we go. And then on the other side, kind of the same thing. Let's see if we have a bigger one. That's going to go right there. And let's look at the other sheet. Here's a bigger one. They have it off to the side, so you could either do it here or in here or up here. Let's see. I think I'll go with it being up, because I changed the design a little bit on that one, so I have to account for the change. And then a little one right up here. There it is. Tiny. There we go. Oh, that's cute. Okay, layout number 1 is done. What do you guys think? Let me know. It's cute, right? It's not overly embellished. There's so much going on with our paper and our border strip, the gold foiling, and I love the amount of embellishments that they used. Okay, let me pull this one aside, take the cards off. We'll save those for our next layout. Okay, whoops. And on this one, you don't have to, like, this already has a little bit of dimension. So we put this one up onto some foam, but we don't need to do anything over there because that one is already has a little bit on it. Okay. We're going to move on to tray number 2, which is layout number 2. Okay, let's see what we're going to do here. Okay, get organized. It's going to help. Get yourself organized. Oh, good. You guys like it. Yeah, the colors are really awesome. I agree. Okay, so for layout number 2, we had some more paper left in our kit that we didn't cut, and I had already pulled those aside for this layout. And we're going to use the constellation paper, another piece of that on this page, and then another one of the moon phases on this page, on the right hand side. I'm just turning it to match. I don't know if it really mattered, but I just wanted it to match the picture that they gave us in the guide. Okay, so now if you want to do some paper saving, you can do some gutting here and it would be fine, because this strip that we cut out was 2 inches. It's going to come right over here. So if you wanted to gut this little strip of constellation paper, you certainly could. I'm not going to do that today, but there are times where I want that extra piece. So what's on the back side too? That's right, it was that yellow. So yeah, maybe you would want to cut that. So it's going to go like this. Let's go ahead and get that adhered down. And then we also have the 2 strips of the gold, the molten gold paper, and that's going to come, we're going to put it, looks like it's going right down the middle of that seam. And then this one we are going to bring way over here to the right hand side and put it like that, kind of balance out that color. So now we have the moon phases carried all the way over here and the gold. We don't have any of the constellation over here, so you could change that strip if that was something you wanted to do. Okay, I'm just going to line this up in the middle, 2-inch mark, and this one's going to go off all the way to the side. If you didn't like that gold, you can flip it over, use the other side. There we go. Then we're going to bring in our second set of laser cut borders, the moon phases, right? Perfect page for that. Whoops. To go with our paper. And this one has a little bit of gold foiling on it too. There we go. Nice. We'll use some repositionable tape on this. And it's going to go right on top of this gold strip. Again, you can pop this one up onto some foam if you wanted to. It would look really nice. There we go. And the other one goes on the other strip. Okay. And we don't have any photo mats on here, but oh yes we do. I guess these are going to be considered photo mats. We have some layering. So we have, let's see if it matters, probably doesn't matter. These are going to both, I have on this side is the smaller one, and it was 10 inches by 5 inches. And I'm going to bring this all the way to the inseam here, and I'm going to bring it down 1 inch, but it looks like they slid it all the way down to the bottom. Let's do that. We're going to slide it all the way to the bottom, bring this one all the way to the bottom like that, and that's going to be where some of our photos are going to land at. Okay, just double checking. Let's go ahead and get that adhered. Of course, we don't have to follow the guide 100% if we didn't want to, right? It's just a suggestion. Today I do just want to make the projects the way they design. I want to show, like, what do you get when you get a secret box? You not only get the papers, but you get a wonderful set of ideas as well. So we will make them the way they recommend. But I guess normally I push them up, but that's okay. Could do that on a future layout. Okay, we have 4 horizontal 4x6 photos going like this. Okay, we could slide those down. We want to because we're going to put our title right across there. And so we have 2 on one side, 2 on the other. Like this. Gorgeous. And then let me grab my, sorry, I don't have all my cards today because, like I was saying, I'm working on another project. So I had my cards kind of spread out. But they gave us a lot in our little bundle, so just need to grab some more. Then we have a vertical photo going off to this side. They have it overlapping, but we do have room. We don't need to overlap if you didn't want to. There is some room to slide it that direction. I think I'm going to do that. And then we have same thing, a 4x4 photo over here. They have it overlapping. I think they're doing that so you don't cover up your beautiful border. I think I would rather slide my photos over a bit and do that instead. I'll do it about halfway between both photos. So it'll look like that. So we're going to get 6 photos on here. I do believe you have room over here if you didn't want to crop down that photo. You have room to put it like this. Okay. Okay, let's see where we're going to embellish this one. Move on to our tray here. And we have this moon with some stars. And it's going to come right up here. I'm not going to adhere it quite yet because I am going to put my title here. But what I wanted to point out, you see how I have this little gully right here. That perfect embellishment, because that would be something I would want to cover up. So it looks like everything is blended together and everything is cohesive. I love that. And then this one, it's a moon with some bursts. And it's going to come over here. And again, it's going to hit that paper right there and cover up that seam. And you can tuck it down even further if you wanted to. I'm kind of watching how it's covering that up right there. So let me go back to this direction, and I could always move my photo up to match here anyway. So there we go. That's cute. And then we have this title. This is super cute. It says it's just a phase and goes perfect with our paper, and it's going to come right down there. Okay. Bring in our puffy stickers because this time we're looking for the title that says Moonlight and Magic. And here it is. Now when you pull these off, the centers should remain on the paper. That's what we want. There we go. I think this is the first time Creative Memories has done any kind of puffy stickers like these. But yeah, we've seen these around sometimes, like the big box stores would have these, and they're popular. So I'm glad. I love this. Makes for making your titles very easy, doesn't it? So it's going to come right up here. Since my photo, I don't want to really touch my photo. I'm going to put a little powder on the bottom of that G so that when I get to my photos can slide right under it. Just the bottom of that G. So I won't feel like needs a little bit more. There we go. And I think our powder tool is back in stock if you missed that on that. I love my powder tool. You guys know if you follow me. I use it all the time. Because sometimes when I'm just playing around, I just want to see how it fits. So I take the powder off. And you see how the G is overlapping my photo card here. And it would do the same with the photo. Now that I took the adhesive off, I can just slide the photo under when I'm ready. And then that's going to go like this. Let's make sure our moon is going the right direction. Moonlight. And we're going to continue on the other side with the word matte end. And if we really wanted to make sure it was lined up, bring in our ruler. Put it right here. Let's see. Don't want it lined up with the bottom of that. Maybe move my card down a little bit. Moonlight and Magic. Cute title. Get the magic off of here. And my little center didn't pop out of my G, so let's take care of that. And then we also just took a little tweezer and popped it right out. And again, I want to take the powder off the bottom of that G. I want to take the sticky off the bottom of that G with my powder. And it will go like this. Line it up. These are fun. You just kind of squish them back together if they're too elongated, and then our photo will slide right up under there, just like it did on the other side. Very cute. Let's go ahead and get these down. Following these guides also, I'll make sure I have to leave it off, the adhesive off of that one too, because same reason. So the photo slides right underneath. What's great about our guides is if you are not 100% comfortable with embellishing, they give us great ideas and how to pair things together also. And let's see, I'm going to do that. And then this one, when the photo comes in, it'll rest right on top. I'm just putting it back for alignment purposes. Put this one, I want it a little bit close like that. There we go. And then we have a couple other things to bring in. We have this cute little moon. You see, they've already picked out the embellishments that kind of go together too, because it has like this little burst right there where that embellishment had it. That is something I would look for when I'm embellishing as well. I'm just looking here. It looks, because I brought mine to cover up the edge there. Now I'm seeing that's not the case on theirs, but I'm going to do something like that. There we go. And a couple little finishing touches. Really have to look at the guide carefully if you want to follow it exactly. And we're going to bring in this cute one right here. I love how they used a mix of the paper embellishments and the puffies. It's going to come right off over here, however you like it. I'm going to put it straight up like that. And I believe that is it, except we actually over here, a little starburst, a white one. And now I think that's it. Let me line my photos back up. They look a little crooked. It's my photos. There we go. Keep these under. There we go. What do you guys think of layout number 2? That was easy to put together as well. We had everything spread out, so that made it super easy. Okay, let me clean up and we'll move on to layout number 3. Again, we'll take the photo cards off so we can see it without. Okay. Let's move on to number 3. Okay, I think I removed one of those mats, so I might have to find it here. Okay, layout number 3. Now for this one, again, we are going to bring in 2 pieces of paper that I set aside. So when I was cutting, if you're wondering, well, what about the other pieces? Now you're seeing that we're using them for background pieces. And for this one, we're going to bring in, this is the other piece of the foil. Super beautiful. If that's too much going on for you, the back side is equally as beautiful. There we go. This will be our background. This is where we're going to bring in those rings, some of those rings that we cut. And the leftover pieces of our circle. Super fun, right? We always wonder, what can we do with these after we cut our jumbo circle? Well, here we go. They're going to do something like that. We're putting one on each side. Look how beautiful that already made that. It's gorgeous. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and adhere that. I'm going to leave it. So let's go ahead and get this adhered so it doesn't move around, because we're going to be bringing in, I'm just going to put a little in each corner in case I do have to move it around. We're going to bring in some of those rings that we cut. So I'm just going to kind of get it on here loosely. A little bit of repositionable adhesive in case I do have to move it, lift it up to tuck some things. Okay, there we go. Because now we are going to bring in, yes, they are so easy. Yeah, don't be intimidated by the secret boxes. They are, that's what these are meant to be, like project boxes. So we're going to have these wonderful ideas. And honestly, with these papers in this box, it would be hard to use them if we didn't have the idea book, right? This one has a little bubble, just flattening that out. So yeah, I'm glad that this is helping so you don't feel intimidated. Okay, so there we go. This one's gonna, we have our little scrap from our circle, and then we're gonna bring in our first punch out that we made with the Dancing Stars border making cartridge. And we're gonna put this one, looks like right in the middle. So I'm gonna bring it, well, we could bring it down exactly. How's that? 6 inches, halfway. We'll lay it right there for a minute. See if that's where we want to keep it. Let me line up my paper and put it right there. Okay, that's pretty too. Whoa, a lot is going on here. A lot of sparkles. I love it. And now we have our circle rings actually that we cut out. Let's bring this in. And we're going to trim them and tuck them. I'm going to show you this one. You'll see here how we're going to just bring them in. One, it's going to go like this around here. You can bring it up as high as you would like right there. And then another one up here. And I believe this big one. Let's move our strips for a minute. And then we'll put the big one, let's see, we're going to cut this one into 4. I'm just going to check ahead here on this, what they wrote for this. What I love, another thing is I'm a visual learner, so usually I could just use this, but then if you have any questions, they have it written step by step down here as well. So arrange and adhere the thin rings onto the base pages, allowing parts of the circle to overlap between the 2 pages. Okay. Okay. So you see how it's overlapping here. And it's really however you would like it. So I'm just going to do my own thing here. And I'm going to trim this one because I'm going to tuck that under. And I'm trimming it with enough room so I could tuck it. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here. This is the part I jumped the track a little, so I'm going to have to trim that up. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm overlapping here so I have a little room, and then I'm going to overlap right here. And that took care of my little overhang. Then I'm going to tuck this under. And this is an optional step because it does get a little bit kind of wild with all the gold and things happening here. So that would just be your choice. Add as much as you like or none at all. But it looks pretty. And then it's just however you like it. It really is just, I'm trying to figure out if there's a rhyme here, but I want to go back really quick and make sure we're using both of these. It looks like it. I'm not sure I'm going to use my big one quite yet, because I think I have enough with this. So let's see. You know what? Let's save this one until we get our photo mats on here. So we're going to bring in our photo mats. And it's these starry ones with that beautiful paper. So see what I'm saying? It's a lot going on here. Let's put our strips back in. That will make a difference. We want to do one above the strip and one under. A lot of this is going to get covered up too with the photo. So if you're thinking right now like, oh, that's a lot, remember that some of that's going to get covered up. So I'm going to show you here. And you can always flip it over. Okay, let's bring in our photo mats. There we go. See, that calms it down quite a bit, doesn't it? There we go. There we go. Okay, and then we have two more off to the side here. And you can see my ring. You see how it looks like it just keeps going. That's really nice. And then this one, same thing. I would put the photo mat about halfway between on that strip. Let's show what that's going to look like. Okay, there we go. That's our photos. Put those right there. Okay. I wanted to show that because see if where we're going to put the rest of our rings. So I probably will come up here, tuck it under the photo, and then let's see, I'm going to have it go off the page like that, and I'll probably come back through and just trim off this little piece you see right there with the leftover piece of the circle. So let me go ahead and get this. Let's see, how far do I want to do this? Tuck it. Let's do that. We'll come back and get that all adhered down so I can show you. And then I'm going to bring another piece, I think, right over here, coming out and kind of trailing down around here, and then trim it. And that's the part that I jumped the track, so that worked out good. Just going to toss that little piece, that want to use it anyway, and then I'm going to have it trailing off the paper, so I will come back and trim that off once I get everything adhered down. And so I have like a few just going around, and we could come back in with the other circle and do some little clips. Let me get my little scrap that I just threw away. I'll show you, because I don't know if I want to cut into that. So we can tuck it like this and have it going off the paper. I want the curves to go the right direction. So I have probably just enough there that I can do that without and cover up my little damaged piece there. And then I probably would want to come down here also, but you're getting the idea how we're just going to tuck it how you like it. Okay, so let me go ahead and adhere these and adhere my center strip also, and then I'll bring the photos back in and we'll do some embellishing. Okay, this one was kind of tucked under like that, kind of made like almost an eyeball shape right there. And then this one, let's bring that mat back in. Yeah, we're just gonna hang that like that actually. It'll get covered up by the mat. And how did I have this one? Like this under, and like this, and actually I'll keep that now. I'm just going to tuck it under here, and it looks like it's not quite aligned. That's okay. And then I will lift it up and trim. I'll have to align my other paper a little bit better, but there you go. It's kind of cute, different. Just like that was our hardest piece of paper to cut, I think this is going to be the hardest layout. There we go. But it's going to be beautiful when we're done. Let's go ahead and get this adhered. I want to just put a little bit to hold that down so you get the good view of that. And then this one, I want to center this a little bit better. Halfway, 6 inches. There we go. Our mats make it so easy because you could just look on both sides. And then this one, beautiful. And this one will go like this. Let's see, gotta keep room. We're gonna come back and do some embellishing right there. Okay, that's the first side. Once we got our rings down, it's not so hard. Let's go ahead and keep that in place. Rub off the extra. Come back, get our strip in place. Halfway. There we go. And the mat. Trim off the extra. Got my paper a little bit there, but I think it'll be fine. And then this one. So you guys getting that? We just want to do what you like. Give it some movement is what it's doing here. It's giving us movement because we have the circles going the other, like randomly around the page. So as you're looking at your page, you're going to know how you kind of want it to go. Don't be afraid of that. Christine, after we just said, don't be intimidated by the secret box. We picked the hardest one, didn't we? Okay, this one will come up here. You're going to see it's going to be easy by the time we're done here. And this one again will be like this one down there where we have just almost an eyeball looking shape, and I'm going to tuck it under, and if there's any hanging over, we're just going to trim that. Keep nicking my paper because I'm stretching to do this. Normally I would just pick it up where I can actually see it a little closer. One more photo mat. We'll go right here. And put our photo back in so we can get a visual. There we go. Okay, so I did save the big ring. You can really add some more if you wanted to put the big ring on. There's room up here you can see, and down here, but I'm gonna hold off on that. I think I am okay with the amount that I have there. So maybe we'll just save that for either another project, or we do have some scraps here. Maybe we could work something out with that. Okay, so embellishing for this one. Let's see, we're going to bring in this tag, which I love. There's a couple of them in this, and it's super gorgeous. So what they did here, I love this part. They're using this for a journaling area, and they're going to just cut that right in half. Or what we're going to do is we want the sun part to come to the other side. So whether you cut it in half or just cut the sun off, either way will work. We're going to tuck it right under here, and that's going to become our journaling area. And then we're going to take the sun and tuck it right up over here. Love that. I love using our embellishments like that. Get double use out of it. You don't even know on this layout that this was not meant. I'm going to kind of slide it this way a little bit. That this had a sun on it or a tag on this one. And you get to still have a journaling area. There we go. And then we have this beautiful almost compass thing. I'm not sure what that's called. I'm sure somebody knows what that's called. And see how we're ended up covering up some of our circle area. And so that's okay. We could do two things. We could move it over a little more if we wanted to. Get our multi-purpose tool. And we can pop that up completely and move it. Let's put it aside for now and put the embellishment's going to go like this. It's going to hit the top of the top of this mat and this mat. Let me go ahead and put a little bit of repo on there so it won't, we're going to put it right in the center so we could tuck around it. And then this, we can just bring in a little piece so it still looks like we see that movement that we had originally. And I need to get some more repo on that because it doesn't feel like it's hitting it. There we go. Trim that off. I'm gonna make it hit that part right there. I can go back later and trim off all the extra edges. But there we go. So we still have our movement of that. You could bring in the other piece somewhere else if you wanted to as well. Maybe like this, I don't know. We'll have to, there we go. And then the word phenomenal, what is our kind of our title. Let's put our photo back in. It's going to go at the top of our photo mat. You could pop that up onto some foam. That would be super cute. There we go. And then what else do we have? We have the telescope. That's going to come right over here. And just position it how you like. I don't like little open spots, so I'm going to make sure that's touching the mat and not so much the photo over here. Again, we're going to be able to slide our photo right in. And that's it for the embellishments. Let's find our finishing touches on here. Let's see, we have a little star, but I think it's actually this one. We're going to come right over here on top of our journaling box. It won't actually touch our photo, I don't believe. Nope, so we're okay. We're going to pull in this sun right here and pull that off the sheet and tuck it right over here. Make it look like it's underneath that embellishment. And then this one goes right in the center like that. I think I'm going to pop, there we go. So it looks like that. And I'm just double checking. We have some more little dots. Two big ones. And a smaller one. Let's see here. Here it is. Get those tweezers back out. And it's going to go like this. And then, let's see, I believe it's this cloud right here. And we're going to take the whole thing, but we're going to separate it. And then we're going to bring it right up here by the sun. We'll tuck some of it under the sun, like this. And then the other piece will come out and go over the sun like that. There we go. And I believe that's it. So let me take this off the mat so you can get a good visual. Put some of these tools away. So it has a lot going on here. What do you guys think about that one with all the gold? Would you flip those papers over, or would you, or you like all that stuff, all that movement going around, all that shimmery gold? I like it. We don't have too many layouts that have this going on, so I would actually keep it like this. And I love it. I love all the gold. I think my camera's not picking that side up. Let's see. Nope. But that is gold as well. There we go. When I put it, you can see. There we go. So this has all the gold. I think that's beautiful. Took a little work. It took a little bit to get those all cut out, but came out super nice. I love that one. Let's take off the photo mats. If you don't cover up those mats with the photos, I do think it's quite a lot going on. But seeing how we're going to cover up most of that, I think that's going to work perfectly. Okay, let's put this one away. We are halfway through. We are on to number 4. Okay, and for layout number 4, oops, I moved a couple things around. I forgot. Let's see. We are going to have to do some more welding, it looks like. And we're going to bring back in our other circles that we created. This one's going to be fun. This is a fun one. Okay, let's put this aside and we will work on the background. Because we welded before we did side. This one we're going to do top and bottom. This is a half and half design. I love it. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes it's hard to make the pages without your photos because you're not sure of the orientation or what you're going to use. Oh yeah, that would be a nice page for Christmas. You're talking about the last one. Yeah, I think that would be really nice actually. It doesn't have to have a space theme at all, right? So yeah, save those embellishments for something else. Okay, let's do some welding here. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to flip it over. Flip this one over. Let's make sure we're all lined up here. And get our tape. Get my little cuts of paper. Let's see here. Grab just 2 of them. And we'll go ahead and do this one. Trim it a little bit. Flip it back over. We have a little bit showing through. That's why I use Repo, because if I really didn't want to, I could just pull it up if I didn't want it showing and align it a little bit better, which normally we don't want it showing, but you guys know I love to cover up the seam. And we're actually going to bring in that big circle, so it should be okay. Okay, so this is the bottom and this is the top. Let's line that up. Pinch it together as much as we could. Bring in our strip. Whoop, I guess I brought in extra. Trim it. There we go. And let's flip that back over. Okay. Now let's bring in those circles that we cut before, which is this one. It's going to go like, oops, I want the gold side up, like that. Very pretty. And then we have, now here's, this part is a little bit tricky because we're going to bring it kind of flowing through both sides like we did before. And so we're going to put it on, I'm going to scoot this one over so we can kind of get an idea of, it's not, let me put more adhesive on. Every time I try and pick it up, it separates. Okay, put it closer together because this one, we're going to want it to be flowing onto both sides of the paper, the top and the bottom, and some space right here between, like that. And then this one, oh, this one's going to go on the bottom part, like that. And then the same thing. So however you want to overlap it, but their idea here is to kind of hit both sides of your paper, top and bottom. And then we're going to put a photo mat right over here. And then the part that overlaps, it'll look like one continuous flowing piece of paper on the layout. So we'll taper it in like that as well. Okay, let's give this one a try. Let's go ahead and center this one first. Just use a little bit of repo there so that I could move it if I need to. Same with this one. Let's see here. And I'm just want to see if we're going to center that. There we go. And then let's do one side at a time. Let's see. I think like that. Let's go ahead and put it down. I'm going to trim it right about there because this one will come in maybe our circles need to be over a little bit. Maybe it's not centered. There we go. Okay, this one. And I like the swishy look of this. How it's swishing through both sides. Okay, I'm going to move this one over a little bit so it's more under my okay, let's see here. Okay. Let's see here. I want to move this one up a bit. I'm going to mark our paper. So let's just call it there. Let's taper this one down. We're going to give it a little bit of a point. There we go. You can see it marked the paper a little bit. And then this one we will taper up. And we could even do a little more if we wanted to, but I kind of like that. So it looks like it's just going like this. And then this one here, I might trim it and bring it up, but let's bring in a photo mat first. Here we're using these photo mats, the same ones, but we're turning them upside down. So if you want the shiny side up, then that you can do that now if you want to, but it was recommended the shiny side down, but that's really up to you. And so see, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to trim this down here and have it come up to the top. So it really looks like it's just going through the layout. Let's get a little more adhesive on that. I kind of want the shiny side up. Just trying to get that perfect. There we go. It's my circle here is not perfect. Let's turn that. There we go. Cover up that little cut with that. And then up here, this one kind of ends with it going right into the photo mat right there as well. So I will have to come back through and trim these once. Let me kind of put it down a little bit. Yeah, when I take them off, actually, I'll have to be very careful. And then just trim the paper right in half, right there. Okay, let's put our photo mat down. It's gonna look like, oopsie, okay, this paper should have been down here. And the dark should have been up there, but I'm not going to spin it around now. So the circle's in the right place, but this paper should have been down here. So if you're following along and you haven't got that far yet, then make sure you flip them over. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that because it's too late. I've already adhered that and I'm not willing to change that at this point because I'm going to bring in my photos. It's going to take, it won't line up the right way. So sorry about that. If you're following along, I know some of you are waiting to cut your paper, so for other projects. So hopefully we cut that before you cut. Okay, so we have our two photo mats here, which are going to hold again the 5.5 by 3.5 photo. And it's funny because I noticed when it was the wrong way up, that it was on the blue, but I didn't flip my paper. Silly. And then we're going to line up 3 photos down here, and that was the idea, so that the darker would be like a giant photo mat. So it's going to look like this when we're done. And then up here you'll have 3 more photos going across that way. We're using a lot of 3.5s by 5.5s, which is great. It's a great size to fit on a scrapbook page. So there we go. A lot of it gets covered up anyway, right? Okay, so that is actually the photo layouts for this page, and all we have to do now is bring in a little bit of embellishing. So what do they have us bringing in on this one? Another one of the tags. And this title that says, "You are my starshine." That's cute. And it's going to go like this, kind of over. It does go over the photo, so we'll make sure not to add adhesive like that. And then it's going to go like this. And then we're bringing in this starburst. This is a beautiful embellishment. Love that one. And this one I'm going to pop up onto some foam. Okay, just to give it a little bit of dimension and help it stand out a little bit against all the gold. It'll go like that. And then our tag, we're going to do the same thing we did on that previous page, is we're going to cut it. So this time it's going to tuck in right over here, and the part we want this part here, but we also want to bring it over and come out the other side a little bit. So we don't need to cut a lot. It's just going to make it look like it's a longer tag than it really is. I might have to move my photo over a teeny bit to demonstrate this. And so we're going to tuck this part in here and then line it up on the other side so it looks like it's going all the way across. Cute. Again, I'm glad they did something like that to help us use that embellishment. Okay, let me go ahead and get these adhered. You are my starshine. Making sure I didn't put any adhesive back there because quite a bit's going to go over the photo. This is one of those that maybe you want to wait also to make sure what photo you have there. Maybe you don't want to cover up so much, right? And then this one's going to come right underneath here. Can come anywhere you want. I'm going to put it right in here in that little gully right there so it looks like it's all combined together. And then this one, and this one. Line it up. You could get your ruler out if you would like. And let's bring in the other embellishments. So we have another word right over here. And it says, let's see, I'm not really sure what it says. I can't read that. Oh, let's see. I'm going to guess. Twinkle? Yeah, twinkle. That's kind of funny. I couldn't see that well. So twinkle it is. Not bad even if it's not, right? It fits. And then we're looking for this starburst, which I love that they did this one here, and then we're going to bring in the puffy over to this side. And I pulled it off, and you see how the center came off? Well, make sure we keep all those because we've been adding them to our clusters, right, as finishing touches. I'm going to put a little powder on the back of this because it does go over the photo, and I'm not ready for that yet. Yeah, I'm not sure which photos I'm going to put on mine. Not know if I have any photos, but I do. I'm seeing that a couple of you agree with the Christmas idea. These would make very different Christmas photo layouts, wouldn't they? They'd be beautiful. So that's going to go right here, and that's the part I took the sticky off with. So that's perfect. And I think that is all for this one. There we go. So even though I made it a little bit backwards, it still looks pretty good. I like it. I'm going to gently pull this up. Let me take the photos off so that I could cut my papers. I still have to do that. And then we will be finished with this one. I want to make sure it's adhered down. There we go. And that part's okay. Line them up, is it? My welding. I might have to come back and do a little bit better welding on this. I feel like it's not sticking. And I do have a little bit of an overhang right here. I'm just going to trim that off. There we go. And that's what it looks like it's swishing through. That's cute. That's different, right? We don't see that layout. Oops. Yeah, I'm going to have to, I guess I did not put enough on there, and we didn't cover our seam. A lot of times when we cover our seam, it helps us. We could bring your circle up a little to help with that if you need to. Okay, that was layout number 4. Let's go ahead and move on to number 5. I'm going to have to adjust my welding here. There we go. Yeah, I might bring that, if I did that again, I would bring that circle down a little bit. Kind of help keep my weld together. Okay, are we ready for number 5? Let's see what we have here. Okay, number five. Number five, we will have to bring in some cardstock or some backings to adhere. So I'm just going to wallpaper this one. I'm not going to attempt to weld it. There's a few pieces, but we are going to cover up the whole thing, it looks like. Let's dry fit it first and make sure. So I'm just using the backers to some collections I have used up already. So let's make sure I have everything, because it does look like, what did I do here? Let's see. This one's going to come up to about here. And let's do it on both sides. My backer's a little bit bigger, so I will have to trim that. Darn. Flip this one around. So there we go. That's that one we cut. That's why they were pointing out, make sure the ombre is going the right way, because that was important. Let me trim this down. Wasn't expecting that. This was okay. And let's see what we have here. I feel like these are out of order. Like, what happened here? Let's make sure. Thought we were gonna have, oh yeah, so we're gonna put this part up here, that's right. And then we had 4 of these. It just seems like we could have made a few smaller cuts. So we're taking the strips of the constellations where we just cut the paper into 3 12 inches, and we're gonna put those at the top and the bottom. And then this is going to line up like somewhere around here. I guess we're going to play with that a little bit more. I have it right now at 1.5 inches, but I might move that down, move that up. See, we're just wallpapering the whole thing. So if you want to weld, you still could. Okay, then we have these 6-inch squares that we punched out, and we're going to bring back in the little strips that we also cut and come back in and adhere that. So let me go ahead and do that right now. Oops, let's see here. And it's gonna come over here. Yeah, I just feel like we could have made a few smaller cuts with that paper, and then saved a little bit of it, but that's okay. Maybe not. We'll see when we're finished here, where if we would do this again, if we would make different cuts. Okay, so this is cute with the little backing behind that border making punch out. Okay, let's get everything adhered onto our white cardstock. I'm going to use my regular one. I think I might be running out here. I didn't bring an extra cartridge over. So, whoops. Huh. Going to the jumbo. Okay. Line this up. So this is layout number 5. We have just one more after this. Is anybody working on this, or are you working on other projects? Just watching? What's everybody doing today? It finally stopped raining for us. I'm not complaining. I love the rain. Wished it was still raining, but yeah, it's a very nice sunny day out today. Okay, and we have that one. Okay, let's see how we're going to work all this out. We're going to take this one, and it looks like we're going to overlap it. I'm going to bring in a photo card, a mat, just so we can get a full visual here before we line up. So it's going to have a 6-inch photo, a 4x6 horizontal photo right here, and then we're going to line that up, and then this piece comes in up here. Let's see, how much are we covering up? Yeah, I feel like we could do like 2-inch cuts instead of 3-inch cuts, but then I don't know. I like the overlapping too, that way nothing is really showing through, especially since we're going to have photos right here. So what am I going to do? I'm going to bring this to about 1.5 inches up. That's what I'm going to do. One and a half inches up, and same with the photo. And this one will come in right here, and I'm going to bring it, let's see here. Actually, we could bring it right to the tippy top of that blue, that 6-inch square, which would be, whoops, which would be 1.5 inches down from the top as well. Let me get this lined up. So that's probably, we could have went with a little bit shorter paper. So if you haven't done this yet and you're going to do this later and you want to trim this down, I think we can get away with even if you wanted it to overlap a little, you could do a 2-inch. Save yourself a little bit of paper there for future projects, right? Okay, and then we have these two. Let me put these on so you can see it, because with the white paper there, it's kind of deceiving. Those are going to touch up next to each other. Okay, so that's our layout. Let me do the same thing on the other side. Now that I know what I'm going to do with this brown one, we can go ahead and get that adhered first. So we're going to come down 1.5 inches. There we go. And then this one, comes out right over here. It's going to butt up right next to our brown one to the very edge and overhang. Oops, I didn't use repo on that, so I'm not going to pull that up right now. Okay, and then 2 more photos that are going to come right into the inseam, line up with our photos on the other side, and look something like that. So you see how I wallpapered the whole thing, so it won't matter what you use behind there, or if you wanted to weld, that would be fine, as that would work as well. Okay, then we have 2 more photos to bring in. We have these photo mats. One's going to go right there, and one's going to go right over here. And those are going to house a 3.5 by 5.5 photo like that. Get you straight there. Okay, let's go ahead and put the mat down. And it won't matter how you put the ombre. I like to put the darker side toward the bottom, and it looks really nice next to our punch out there. And there we go. That's our photo layout and the layout itself. So let's bring in the embellishing for this page. And we have this swirly thing, which I'm going to actually move my photo up. I don't want to cover up my, excuse me, my dancing stars. So I'm going to bring this up and over. It is going to overlap our photo a little bit there. Let's get this in place first. They have it covering the border a little bit. And then this is going to slide in right behind there. And then our photo. So again, if you don't know your photos, right, maybe you want to hold off on this. Pick just the right photo that you can cover up the corner. Okay, and then we have this one. This is cute. It's going to be going right in between those. Get some adhesive on this. Here we go. Okay. And then one more. This is going to come right up here on top of the photo. Can do some foam tape on that. It would look nice. I'll just use a little bit of repo for right now. And it's going to look like this. That's pretty. And that's it for the embellishments. I actually had one extra pulled here, but maybe it's for the next layout. We'll see. Okay. And onto our puffy stickers, because this time we want it to say, we are all stardust. We are all, yeah, okay, so we're one side it's going to say, we are all, and then over here it'll say stardust. Let's start with that one first. We are all stardust. There we go. And this one I'll do backward. Take out the center, did not pop out of these ones. It is much nicer when it does. And it's going to come right down here. I probably could have moved my photo up. I'm not going to at this point because I have this down. But, well, let's see. Yeah, it's pretty. I will have to move that up if I really want to. I think it's going to be fine. I'm just going to overlap it a little bit. So it says, we are all. I'll bring the all. Oh, that's okay. I'm going to leave it like that. We are all on this side. Oh, that one's tiny and it didn't pop out. Let's get the tweezers. I'm just going to poke that right on out. There we go. That's a tough one. It is tiny, tiny, and it's not coming out. There it goes. There it goes. Okay. There's that. And then next to that, we have, I think, this big sticker here. And it's going to go like this. And I'm going to take off the powder, the sticky on that one with my powder. Okay. So it can go on here and not bother my photo. There we go. We have a lot going around our photo right here. And then they have a little one that goes right here, but I don't have my photos yet, so I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to put it right over here. There we go. These stickers are photo safe, the puffy stickers. So if you wanted to put on your photo, you would be fine. And then I'm going to bring one more right over here. And let's see if I have, here's one that we can use. This is going to go right off over here. And one more of the little starbursts. There we go. That's cute. I like this embellishment area and this one as well. Nice. I believe there's even one more. You really want to, let's see. I think it's one of those, but it's also, I thought there was one more starbursty one. Let's see. It's actually this one. Let's see if I can get it off. Not that it would matter, because they both look great. Yeah, not much of a difference, right? I'm going to turn it a little bit though, face inward. And then these ones one goes up here. I'm going to put it onto barely touching the brown, but mostly into the blue. And this one will definitely into the blue so that you can see it, because this coppery color fades into that brown. So there we go. Cute. That's layout number 5. That one came together a lot easier than the last one, and even though we had to wallpaper all that. Let me move this out of the way so you can see. Those 2 photos go right in the center on each side. There we go. What do you guys think about that one? I like it. I like it, but if you haven't cut your paper, remember that you could go a little bit smaller on the blue paper at the top and the bottom, because a lot of it got covered up, but not a lot smaller. Maybe go 1 inch, but it would save at 1 inch on 4 strips is going to save you a nice 4-inch piece, right? So why not use it for a different layout? Okay, so that's number 5. We have 1 more to make. Very good. Okay. Hopefully everything is here that we need, because my trays are getting pretty empty. I have the ring left over that I didn't use. And other than that, and I have these mats that were on the wrong layout. So everything should come together. Now this is a fun one. They've all been fun, but we're going to use this side of the paper, this moon paper, for our base. And when it's together, it's going to look like it's just going around both pages. So already I'm liking that. I'm liking that they did that, because sometimes we have a hard time using these bolder and these prints that are a little bit awkward and different for us, right? Excuse me, let me grab a drink. Okay, then we're going to bring in our border strips that we made earlier with our Dancing Stars border cartridge, and we're going to put that probably 1/2 inch from the top. I'm going to try that. I like that. It looks like that in the photo, and it's going to come right down here. Sorry, am I putting my head in my camera? Let me scoot this down a little bit and do that. Okay, and then this is our photo mats using the moon phase paper. The back side's yellow, and don't think I would swap that at this right now. And then we have remember those 4-inch photo mats we made? We're going to bring those in right over here. Bring this down a little. 2 on each side, like that. That's our layout. That's our layout and our photo placement. So we can even bring this down maybe a little bit more if you wanted to, maybe 3/4 of an inch. Let me go ahead and get this adhered. Let's see, that's a 1/2. Maybe I'll stick with a 1/2. Half an inch down. Yep, that was it for my repo tape. I did not even think that I might have to go bring another one in, so that's okay. Give it a little bit of regular. go. And a little behind each of these. Oops. I'm just lining it up with the edge of that photo, the top photo, kind of give me a guide. Of course, if you had different size photos down here, you could do like a 3x4 and do 3 of them. You can always do a smaller cut photo over here as well. Okay, that's the photos. Let me grab my cards and we'll see what they look like. So of course on these ones we're back to our 3.5 by 5.5. There we go. And on these we could bring in 3.5-inch squares for each of those. Let's see here. I think I need one more. Like that. That's cute. It's a cute layout. Okay, the way they have the photos in there. And that's our photo placement. Our layout came together super quick. Love that. And we just want to add the embellishing. So we have this one with the moon. I want to bring it over here and touch that photo. It looks like they did as well in the sample. Kind of make it, again, feel like it's kind of connected there. And then on this side, perfect, right? Love you to the moon. Love you to the moon and stars. And then the clouds are going to come, and I think they had it tucked in like this. I'm going to pop one of these up on foam, trying to decide which one. Probably the clouds, and tilt it maybe a little bit. So I love that moon though. I want that moon to be showing. So maybe let's put the clouds where we want them and then pop this one up onto some foam. That's going to take some, let me see if I have some tape left in my foam box, because that is going to take, I do. I have some foam tape left. That one's going to take a nice big strip, which is fine. Oops, my scissors. And super easy when you have the tape. And that one will be popped up and slid over. Yeah, I like that better. This little part of the moon is touching the mat, but then this all is popped up over that cloud. Yeah, that's super pretty. Let me go ahead and get this adhered down. Move my photo for a minute and take our tape off. Whoops. There we go. And this one, let's see, how do we have this? I want this bottom part touching my mat there, so, and slide this under like that. Okay. And that's all of the paper embellishments. Let's get our sticker sheet and see what we're going to use here. We have a couple clouds we're going to use. So let's pull this off. We have this one and this one. This is like the titles. It's nice if the insides come off as you're pulling it. because that would be a lot to take out, and this one did. And I'm super glad I put that one down because this one is now going to come up on top of it as well, and it's going to go like this, so a little bit of an overlap there. So I like that a lot. And this little shooting star is going to come off to the side like this. Cute. And we have one twinkling star that's going to come up right over here. I bring it down so it's more in the cluster and not really touching my border. Over here, we're going to add a couple of these twinkling stars. These two right here. One's going to go about right there, while the other one comes somewhere up there, however you like it. And the last thing will be this cloud. Try and get all those insides out. There we go. As we're peeling it off, so I don't have to bring my tweezers in later. There we go. Perfect. And this one's going to come right down over here. I like it. And I believe that's it. So that one came together super fast. They saved the easiest one for last. So that's good. That's layout number 6. Let me take it off. We can see it. And then I want to show you what we have left over. Because we have a lot of embellishments, which are great, but we don't have that much paper. So let's tuck this in. There we go. Layout number 6. And without the photos, the ring here looks like the one we did on our other layout, huh? How it just kind of moves your eye through the whole layout. This one's pretty. This one's really super pretty. I like this one a lot, and it's super easy to put together. So if you want to know what to do with that paper, this is a wonderful idea. Okay, so that's what we had left. I mean, that's what we accomplished. Let's get that white piece so we can see here what we have left. This is what we have left of our puffy stickers. We have lots of titles left. We could have changed out any of those that we wanted to throughout the ones that we made. And we have a lot of suns and lots of little leftover bits and pieces that we can use, and some clouds, some moons, and one more balloon even if we wanted to do that. So that was pretty good. And then as far as the embellishments, well, you saw my tray earlier. All these embellishments, this one I must have pulled out by accident, but lots of embellishments left for all kinds of different layouts, some titles and stuff also. But for the paper, let's see here. We have that scrap. Let's see. Uh-oh, I'm losing it. There we go. It's falling. Well, it was in a nice, neat little stack here when I started, but I believe that's it. Some really small little strips of paper. Now you see why they recommended if you wanted to use it for welding, then you wouldn't have any of this left, so that's good. And I think, like we were mentioning, we can have cut that one paper a little differently and had a little bit left on there as well. Oh, and I had my ring. The ring that I did not use, but I didn't use it by choice, not because it wasn't used in the layouts. I just decided not to on mine. Okay, what'd you guys think? That was pretty good. I'm gonna come on back to the screen. There we go. Well, I really enjoyed that. That was really fun. I'm glad that you guys came and joined me and helped me put together those layouts. That was 6 double-page layouts in that one secret box. So hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't used your secret box yet, now you know what they're going to look like. You can make some modifications however you would like. But yeah, that was fun. Maybe we'll do this again at the when the next secret box comes out. We'll have to see. But thanks again. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you real soon. Take care, everybody. Bye. And you're welcome to all of you that are saying that in the chat. You're welcome. Thank you.